There's something profoundly inspiring about the legacy of Jim Lovell, the courageous commander of Apollo 13, whose life reminds us of what humanity can achieve when we focus on exploration, innovation, and unity. But here's where it gets thought-provoking. Could modern politics, especially within the Republican Party, learn a thing or two from his remarkable story? Let's dive into this idea and explore why it matters more than ever today. Jim Lovell, who recently passed away at the age of 97, wasn't just an astronaut. He was a symbol of hope, resilience, and progress during one of the most daring chapters in human history. Leading the infamous Apollo 13 mission in 1970, a flight that merely ended in disaster, Lovell became a household name worldwide. Beyond Apollo 13, he contributed to other groundbreaking missions like Gemini 7, Gemini 12, and Apollo 8. These weren't merely space flights. They represented milestones in humankind's relentless pursuit of knowledge and discovery. During those golden years of space exploration, America stood as a beacon of ambition. It wasn't just about rockets blasting off into the cosmos. It was about pushing boundaries in science, technology, medicine, and beyond. As historian John Meacham has eloquently put it, this era embodied an inclination to open our arms rather than to clench our fists. In essence, it showcased a nation unafraid to dream big and invest in its own future. And guess what? That forward-thinking mindset is exactly what propelled the United States to global leadership across countless fields. Fast forward to today, and you might notice a stark contrast. Instead of doubling down on investments in research and development, recent trends suggest a worrying retreat. For instance, under Donald Trump's presidency, funding cuts hit critical areas such as the National Institutes of Health, women's health initiatives, Alzheimer's research, and cancer studies. Why dismantle programs that are vital for scientific advancement and public well-being? This question begs further discussion and perhaps even debate. And this is the part most people miss. These aren't just budget line items gathering dust in some bureaucratic ledger. They're lifelines for innovation. When governments slash funding for universities, medical research, and cutting-edge technologies, they're not just hurting scientists, they're jeopardizing the very foundation of progress itself. Imagine if NASA had been defunded before landing on the moon. Would humanity have soared so high without that commitment? So what's the solution? Right now, America desperately needs leaders, particularly Republicans in Congress, who are willing to champion bipartisan efforts to restore funding to essential R&D programs. Rather than attacking academic institutions or undermining scientific endeavors, lawmakers should be forging partnerships with them. Think about it. Collaboration between government, academia, and private sectors has historically driven monumental breakthroughs. From decoding the human genome to developing mRNA vaccines, teamwork has always been key. Supporting science isn't just a noble pursuit, it's practical. Investing in research and development has consistently positioned the U.S. at the forefront of global innovation. There's a reason Silicon Valley thrives. Why American pharmaceuticals lead the world, and why tech giants emerge from U.S. soil. These achievements didn't happen by accident. They were cultivated through deliberate investment in the future. But let's stir the pot a bit. Does every politician agree with this perspective? Some might argue that tightening budgets is necessary for fiscal responsibility. Others may prioritize different sectors over science and education. What do you think? Should we scale back federal support for research, or is it time to double down on these investments? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear differing opinions. One undeniable takeaway from Jim Lovell's extraordinary career is the value of embracing challenges with optimism and determination. His life teaches us that great nations don't shrink from difficulty. They rise to meet it head-on. By choosing to extend open arms to the possibilities of tomorrow, instead of retreating behind clenched fists of fear, America can rediscover the spirit that once made it a leader among nations. Joe Scarborough, co-host of MSNBC's Morning Joe, brings decades of experience in both politics and media to discussions like these. A former congressman and author, Scarborough has long advocated for policies rooted in bipartisanship and long-term vision. Together with contributions from Allison Detzel, this piece invites readers to reflect on the lessons of the past while shaping the decisions of the future.